Say, wherefore sin we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Now, the implication of this is that you are just in the middle of what God had started long ago, and you are in the middle of what God will continue long after you are gone. God will not see your eye and change. There are witnesses to the fact that this is the pattern of God. He is not treating you like this because your name is Chukwuemeka Samuel. He is treating you like that because that is how he treats men. This is the measuring scale if men are going to walk with God. There are witnesses, men who have passed through times on earth, and God had walked with them by the same scale, and they have passed through this earth, and they have proven that it is possible for men to maintain relationship with God. They've proven that it is possible for the scale of God to be touched by men, standing upon his mercy and his grace. So when you sit down and say it is not possible, nobody can do that, we say that we are encompassed about by so great cloud of what? Witnesses. You cannot say that the demands of God is too high. You cannot say what God is requiring from you God is so strict. This is how God treats men. In a short format, the way that God relates with men is that the moment you came to God, he will accept you. Of course, he even lured you first with his blessings and promises and kindness and goodness. And you will come to him, he will bless you. And after he has finished blessing you, he will break you. After he has finished breaking you, then he will make you a blessing. If there is any man that God ever made a blessing to his generation, that man was a man who passed through what is called the breakings of God. And it is that breaking that we are talking about, purging. That is the breaking process. There are a cloud of witnesses that will attest to this. That is how God treats men. You are not the first. So seeing that we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, many voices are speaking and cheering you up that you are not alone. This was how I suffered as well. This was how God also dealt with me. This is also how my testimony was. The things you're reading in the books about me or in the Bibles, this was how it came about. And the Bible said, if that is the truth, said, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth what? So easily beset us. And let us run with patience the race that is set before us. The implication is that there is a race that is set before you. And with these impurities, you won't be able to run that race effectively. So the Bible is teaching that there are men who have run this race. They are bearing witness to you that for me to also finish well, this was how God treated me. For instance, if you are an athlete and you are just a young athlete and you want to run in the Olympics, and now you have joined the Nigerian team for training, and probably they said, this is what we eat. We don't eat late in the night. We don't eat a whole lot of fattish food. We don't take much of carbohydrate. We go light. This is how we dress when we are doing practice. You say, no, I'm a Christian. I wear suit to jog. I want to wear suit when I'm exercising in the morning. I'm a Christian. I'm a pastor. Don't mind that I came here to, what's going on? I say, Oga, is it Olympic you want to attend? You say, yes or no? You say, if it's Olympics, you can't dress like this and run in the Olympics. And by the time you're feeling is unfair, now how do you want me to expose my body? You will see how many people that will tell you, Oga, I was a champion in 1988. This was the case. Just, I was a champion in 1990. This was the case. These are people who are telling you that it is not because of you that with this law we are made. This is how it is done. If it is Olympic you want to run, you have to train as much, and this is how you will dress, and this is what you will eat. I don't know whether you know what I'm saying now. So in the case of walking with God, running the race that God has set before you in Christ, he said you are encompassed by a great cloud of witnesses. These ones are telling you, bros, no be only you. God will not change. You know what the Bible said concerning God? The Bible said that seeing that we have received a kingdom that cannot be what? Moved. It means that if you pray and say, Lord, remove it, he will not answer the prayer. He will not compromise the standard. The kingdom you have received cannot be compromised. The seal of God standard what? Sure. It can be changed. He says, since that is the case, that the kingdom you have received cannot be moved, he said, let us therefore have grace, that we may serve God acceptably, the way he wants to be served. That means let us receive supply of the Spirit from God to serve him the way he ought to be served. The reason is because our God is a consuming fire. That means if you go and carry the ark like Uzzah, the way it ought not to be carried, the Lord will not say, because you didn't know, or because you thought, or because your name is Uzzah, let's overlook it. He will make a breach there. He will slaughter you. If you go into the secret place like the sons of Aaron and offer strange incense, he will not say, okay, these are kids that it's just a mistake, let's pardon them. He will strike and he will burn you. He said the laws, the standards of God cannot be shifted. He said because that is the case, he said let us have what? Grace. That's grace is not let it be overlooked, let the standard be overlooked. No, grace is let the strength to serve God at the level that we need to serve him be given to us. What grace does not compromise the standard of God. Grace helps you to operate in the level that God expects you to operate. Are you following what I'm saying now? So a lot of people think that what grace does is that, okay, let's cancel this out. Let's cancel this out. That's nonsense. Grace is an empowerment. Grace, it means that God gives you the power to live to the standard or to do, operate at that level that he wants you to operate to get that result he's expecting from you. Since the kingdom we have received cannot shift their standard, the foundation is standing sure with a seal. You can't move it. You can't pray the standard out of course. He said you are the one who need to stretch into a dimension in grace. Something from Christ need to be deposited in your heart so that you can walk in that level where your service can be accepted. Because if you fall short, fire is what is the result. That's the result.